This video was recorded live before a canned studio audience. It's Friday Night Movie Reviews, and here they are, Chris and Keith.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you doing? Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Keith.
I'm Chris.
And this is Friday Night Movie Reviews. Thank you for being with us. We enjoy it whenever you come to see us because we enjoy not seeing you. Well, we went and saw a movie over the weekend, and this one we didn't really have high expectations for this movie. And we'll tell you the reasons why during this review, and we'll tell you what we actually thought about the movie. The name of the movie that we went and saw was
Suicide Squad. Thunderbolts, asterisk. Yeah. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was Suicide Thunderbolt Squad.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Marvel wanted some of that DC pie. They're like, oh, if DC can do it, we can too.
Right.
Here's our ragtag group of people that are miscreants and just have done bad things and all that, and we'll just shove them in a group situation together.
Yep.
And the trailers have shown that off very well.
Right.
So
we're not really going to be ruining anything with this, so this is a no spoilers kind of thing.
Yeah,
so if you haven't seen the movie, you can watch this review kind of safely.
I will say that, again, this is one of those ones you kind of need to do your homework with, just with how they did Captain America 4. You need to watch Falcon and the Winter Soldier before you watch this, because it shows the introduction to the character John Walker, U.S. agent, that is in this film.
Right.
And he's actually one of the major players in this movie, so it's highly important. You're sitting there going, when was he Captain America?
Right.
Like, and who is this? Like, that's the problem with a lot of these people in this movie. If you haven't watched everything that Marvel has done, you may not recognize who the characters are. Because even sitting back when we saw Ghost again, we had to think back, oh yeah, Ant-Man and the Wasp, she was the bad guy in that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And,
also, with the same thing with Yelena.
Yep.
And the Red Guardian.
Yep, they were in the Black Widow movie, so you have to have seen that one.
You have to have seen that one in order to make the connection there, because they do show up in this movie, and they are prominent characters.
And then Yelena shows back up in the Hawkeye show. She actually fights Hawkeye because she blames him for her sister's death.
Right.
So there's a lot of homework to be done, and I think that's partly the reason why this movie's not doing so well is people don't want to do homework. They want to be able to just go see the movie, know who all the characters are, and just go right into the story. And
this is a lot of unfamiliar characters, much like, and we discussed this earlier, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh yeah,
it's much like that was. It was a group of really unfamiliar characters, and what's really weird, strange about this one is these characters are, like you said, a bunch of ragtag misfits that are thrown together to be superheroes.
Yeah. This
kind of like Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
But not exactly like Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad,
they were villains.
They were actually villains.
Yeah.
And these people are not actually villains. They're just like
kind of anti-heroes, like Venom and stuff.
Kind of like that, but they haven't really made a name for themselves. So it's a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole entire movie hinges on them being a bunch of nobodies.
Yeah, yeah. And which actually works out in the favor, because you get to know these characters throughout the movie and you become attached to them. And I say that's probably the strength, I would say, going into this movie is you actually feel for these characters and you get to know them. Because this movie, instead of being like some Marvel movies where it's more on a grandiose scale, this is very character-focused movie where you're not going from place to place, location to location as much.
Right.
And if you go into this movie too, I will say that this movie has action in it, but the trailers make it out to be more action-packed than it is, so that is a fair warning to this.
It's not your regular Avengers movie. So if you're going into this thinking, oh, I'm going to see an action Avengers movie, you're going to be sorely disappointed. I won't say sorely disappointed because there is action in it, and when the action does occur, it is action.
Yeah, it's action. Yeah, it's just not what you're probably thinking it's going to be when you're walking.
Yeah,
into
it's
this
just not
movie.
jam packed like Endgame or something like that. It's not jam packed with all action. There actually is some acting in this movie. There's actually some character building in this movie.
Wow, you're talking about Florence Pugh playing Helena and David Harbour playing the Red Guardian. My oh my, they had a really good few scenes together in the movie, and you're just like, wow, I wasn't expecting that in a Marvel movie. I'm expecting, they're gonna say one little line, then they're gonna make some kind of corny joke, everybody laughs,
Right.
That's kind of the Marvel fare we're used to, and there is some of that in the movie. But I don't think they went as heavy driven on that in this one, because there are funny parts in this movie, but it wasn't like the normal Marvel. So I will give them that. So if you want something different for a change, this one's definitely providing it. It doesn't have like a sky beam in the sky at the end. The final act of the movie doesn't have this huge grandiose fight scene. Now, it does have a unique one, and it has a lot of shocking stuff that happens, and they're going to make you audibly gasp. And our audience that we saw it with did a great job with that. They were definitely a Marvel audience. They stayed, and you definitely want to stay to the end of the credits because it has the longest in-credit scene in Marvel. It's almost 3 minutes long.
Right. And when we say in-credit scene, we don't mean
mid-credit or
when it breaks and they show the credits with the comic book back scenes and stuff like that, and then they break for a scene. They do that, but this one is after everything scrolls up at the very, very end, and then it gets to the very end, and it's the last single credit. There is, like he was saying, I believe it's the longest one that they've done yet.
Yeah, and it actually is a scene of importance. It's not one of those ones that's there for laughs. It's there to get you excited for the next upcoming Marvel movie. And so I don't want to spoil it. And unfortunately, Marvel and Disney are both already doing that amazingly. They're spoiling this movie when I really think they shouldn't. Because you're going to find out in the movie why there's an asterisk at the end of Thunderbolts. I know I made the joke about it being similar than the Suicide Squad, but there is a reason that asterisk is there. I know it's going to be hard to avoid spoilers thanks to social media, thanks to even YouTube, because people are spoiling it all over the place.
But we're not going to spoil it.
So
we're going to let you go and see the movie.
Go in blind like we did.
Yeah,
we had a much better experience because I tell you, when the reveal happens, we're like, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now it makes sense. So don't look at anything online. Don't Google, why is there an asterisk after the Thunderbolts in the title?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And I would say,
you'll get the answer.
And I would say too, don't put off seeing this movie for too long. Don't wait till Disney Plus to watch this, because this movie has already been spoiled to death online as it is.
It has.
And just to say up front, a lot of times we're like, does this need to wait till streaming?
Right.
Or do you need to see it in theaters? I'd say for the spoilers, and it's not often anymore where I say that about Marvel movies, oh, you need to see it in theaters to avoid the spoilers. I think for the enjoyability of this movie, seeing it in theater, not knowing the spoilers, made it a better experience.
Right. And if I were you, I'd try to go and see it in a crowded theater. That way you get in there with some fellow Marvel fans who know a little bit more of what's going on. So this movie, it had a lot of not a lot, but it had some action in it. There was some violence. There was some gasp moments of, oh no, some of that kind of stuff. It was kind of there for a moment. It was a bit of a thriller as well.
Oh yeah,
there was some pretty intense, almost horror movie.
Oh yeah,
moments in it.
There's a character in this that has a very villainous scene in the third act, and you're just like, yeah, it kind of takes you. It's one of those
and that's what will make you gasp.
Yeah. And of course, I know that from the trailers, we know that that Sentry is in this movie. I will go ahead and tell you the The outfit is fantastic looking. It actually looks comic book accurate. They did give it the Marvel-esque movie style where it has like the lines built into it, so it has more of a tactical look to it, but it still has the same color schemes as the comic, yellow on blue. The S on his belt is the way it's supposed to look. I was really impressed that there was a lot more attention to detail as far as getting comic book accuracy in this movie versus some of the other ones they've done recently.
Right.
So I really applauded them for that.
They did a really good job with things in this. I don't really. I mean, there was some language in it, but it was not inundated with language.
No.
So I actually took my my son to see this, my young son, and there are no adult situations in it at all.
No.
None, not even alluded to. I don't remember.
They never made any kind of jokes in that kind of regard
no
either.
kind of jokes like that. So it was. I wouldn't say that this is a real kid friendly movie
because for a Disney movie, it actually had some headshots in it.
So there is violence in it, and there is action in it. There's like I said earlier, the almost horror movie kind of moments in it.
So if you've got young ones that maybe the violence may be just a little bit too much for them, depending on their age and what they can tolerate or what you allow them to tolerate, that may need to be taken into consideration if you need to bring them along.
Because it does get pretty intense right there in a couple of scenes.
I do know that for his age group, he did not get bored watching it.
Oh no, he did not. Even though there was not as much action in this one, it was a lot of like acting moments. He still didn't get too bored.
Yeah, like I said, the character moments in this movie, it was very reminiscent to like Guardians of the Galaxy, where this one may not have as much action in it as a Guardians movie. The character development and the relationship between the characters was there, and that's something. And
some of the comedic moments that they had, some of the comedy,
that just really hit
someone like that.
But yeah, it was like night and day difference between Captain America, because like with the new Falcon character in Captain America, I didn't care about him at all. Like these characters, I was like, I don't want nothing to happen to Ghost, John Walker. I don't want anything to happen to him.
Yeah, it was a lot like that. So if you have kids, you can take the kids to see it, but just be kind of guarded, because there are some moments in it that could be a little intense and a little bit too maybe a little bit too much for them, just depending on your child. You know your kid.
And it's not cuss word free. So if you're not used to your children hearing any cuss words at all, it is there, but it's no more or no less than any other Marvel movie they put out. So you know what to expect there going into this.
Nothing like Smile 2.
Oh, no.
Nothing like that.
Shameless plug, Smile 2 on the channel. We have a review for it. And the Captain America 4. We also have a review for that.
Yes, we do. So let's get into what we actually thought about the movie. We told what the movie is about. To me, the movie had a lot of, like you said earlier, a lot of like Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to it. It's not, I'm just going to say this and put this out there. It's not anywhere near on par with Guardians of the Galaxy, but it did have the Guardians of the Galaxy vibes, with the action, with the character development, with them working together as a team, with the whole thing of bringing them together to begin with. And I mean, all of that was there, like Guardians of the Galaxy, and the comedy as well. So it had the elements in it, not done as well as Guardians of the Galaxy, but still in it.
Yeah, a good, like, solid B+ movie.
Right.
That's where I would say Guardians of the Galaxy is an A+ movie. This is a B+.
Right. And it was not bad at all.
No, this is a rewatchable movie. And
exactly.
I'm sure there are things in the movie that I missed that I need to go back and rewatch it again for a second viewing to catch. And anytime we're a movie where you're like, oh, I need to go rewatch it again, maybe I missed something, that it's a movie worth seeing.
Believe it or not, I'm just going to go ahead and throw this out there. Believe it or not, this movie is better than Captain America 4. And this movie is more rewatchable than Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah.
So that just to kind of compare the two newest Marvel movies that have come out, this one's the better one to go see.
Yeah, I have to agree. Just to back off what you were saying, it's just it's a character-driven movie. It's rewatchable. Captain America was just so boring in most of the parts, you know, and I will still continue to call that movie Diet Hulk till the day I die, because it was the Hulk that should have been an Incredible Hulk movie.
It should have
all day long. What did Captain America have to do with anything with that movie?
Right.
Nothing.
Right.
And
the thing is, the thing that I liked about Thunderbolts, though, going back to what you said earlier, is you actually begin to care about these characters.
There was the scene in the third act. I was like, Red Guardian's dead. Like,
right.
He gets like thrown out a window, and I'm just like, oh no. He can't survive a fall like that. He's not strong enough.
So you actually care what happens to these characters.
Yeah.
And when something bad happens to them, you're like, no.
There's a moment in the trailer you can see where Red Guardian's screaming because somebody's in danger or something has happened to somebody. You feel what he feels. He notes that so well.
Right.
And Louis Pullman, the guy that plays Bob, he does a great job, and he's the son of Bill Pullman, the actor. You may know him. He played the president in Independence Day.
Yeah.
Just for reference. So we actually have two Nepo babies in this movie.
Right.
Because John Walker is actually the son of Kurt Russell. So,
yeah, he is.
And you can tell, you look at him, you're like, oh yeah, you're definitely Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn's son.
I've seen him somewhere. Where have I seen him at? Yeah, it's going to be one of those kind of moments. But yeah, this movie, it makes you actually care about the characters. You start out and you're like,
I just was not excited about this movie at all.
I really wasn't either.
Like, I like Bucky, but I'm like, can he carry a movie? And what's interesting, and I will spoil this, Bucky does not carry this movie.
No.
He's not the lead in this movie. In fact, you see most of Bucky's scenes in the trailer.
Right.
The real stars of this movie are Elena, John Walker, and Ghost. Those are like and Bob. And let me tell you, the thing I like about the Bob character is you literally know nothing about him, and you're able to go through the movie with Bob, because we're just regular people. And at first it seems like Bob is just a regular guy, and maybe there's more to him, as you'll see in the movie. I don't want to spoil that for people who don't know much about his character.
Right.
But he does an excellent job, and you feel for Bob, like the whole movie, and it's interesting. Like, even characters like John Walker that doesn't seem to care about anybody, even he cared about Bob.
Right.
By the end of the movie.
Yeah. So the characters begin to care about each other. They begin to care about themselves. Yeah. Because they start out not even caring about themselves.
Yeah. If they lived or died, they're just like,
But they end up caring about themselves. They end up caring about each other, and you follow the same path with them. You care about each individual character, and then you care about them together as a team.
As they come together from completely different backgrounds, different makeups and everything else, and they were able to function and work together as a group to solve a problem.
Right.
That's enduring in these times where we seem so divided. I found that quite nice, because all these people were from way different backgrounds.
Right.
And they were able to form and be a group. I thought that was a very, very cool story. And I want to say thank you for Marvel for finally giving us a good movie. Yeah. It's not great by any means.
Right, exactly.
But it's a good movie. And it's a solid, and it's a step in the right direction, because I really did. It was like Captain America 4. I was like, okay, they're taking a step backward again. But this one, all right, take that step forward back.
Right.
And I'm hoping to continue to see that trend as they go forward.
I'm hoping that they do as well. I went into this movie with very, very low expectations. Very low expectations. I came out of this movie very, very surprised.
Yeah.
And pleasantly so, because this movie gave me more than I had ever anticipated that it would. I really thought this was going to be another subpar Marvel movie that was like right there on the same level as Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I did too. It was one of those situations I thought we were going to come out of it where we would have done this instead of what they did in the movie. I thought we were going to be having one of those conversations, but we didn't have that this time.
I would have written it this way. I would have done this, or I would have done that.
And honestly, I wouldn't have changed anything they did in the movie.
Right. And when was the last time we actually watched a Marvel movie and didn't do that?
It's been a while.
It's been a long time.
I would say since what, Deadpool and Wolverine?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably since then.
Because we had problems with Kraven, Captain America. Those have been the two in between.
Yep.
So you're talking more than a year's worth of movies?
Exactly. So with this one, no, not so much. So if I was to give this movie some popcorns, I would probably give this movie, you know what? I'm going to be pretty generous with it. I'd probably give this movie about 8.5 popcorns.
Okay.
I liked it that much. Like I said, it's not totally on par with Guardians of the Galaxy, but it's right up there with it.
I mean, it's good. Like I said, it's rewatchable. I was going to easily
We're
say
close to it.
Yeah, I was going to say 7.5 to 8 for as far as the amount of Pepsis I would give it. So,
Yeah.
because it's right there. Because if I'm saying I'm adding it to my collection, it needs to definitely be over a 5.
Right.
And,
right.
I've been saying all along, I'm going to add this one to my collection. So, yeah, this one is easily a 7.5, 8, depending on time of day for me.
And I'm pretty sure my son's not in here with us, but I'm pretty sure he would probably give it about 8 slices of pizza because he really liked it.
Yeah. I never saw him get bored or kind of lay down and get sleepy on you or nothing.
Yeah.
So that kind of told me that because he was attentive the whole time and he was asking questions.
Yeah, he was actually asking questions during the movie and was actually asking questions on the way home as well. So he watched it and he was interested in it. So it got his interest, and he's 9 years old. So yeah, there you go. So he would probably give it about 8 slices of pizza, I would say.
Oh yeah.
So listen, it was a good movie, and you need to go and watch it because this one was right up there, and it was well worth seeing, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's our cue to go.
Yep.
So we're gonna head on out.
Remember to like, share, subscribe. Remember to hit that bell notification for when our next video drops. Leave us a comment. What did you think of this movie? Are you planning to see it, or is it a dud in your mind? Let us know what you think. What would you like us to review? If you've got any ideas, please leave us a comment. And as always, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. This was a dud in our minds when we started out, but we were very pleasantly surprised. You know what? I would suggest that before this movie makes it out of the theaters anytime soon, that you gather up a bunch of friends, because this movie was not trash. This was well worth your cash. Gather up a bunch of friends. You guys jump in the car and go and see Thunderbolts, asterisk. And hey, enjoy your movie.